Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. And today is day 2 of our men's clothing cards. I was originally planning on doing sweaters, but I guess I didn't go that route anymore. So let me just backtrack a tad and show you what we've been up to. Last week I started a sweater series, and last week was all female sweaters, and I had challenged myself to make sweaters that did not use the cable knit embossing folder, which I love, but I wanted to be able to go a different route. So last week we made female sweaters, and this week we're going to do men's clothing. But yesterday I started out and it wasn't a sweater at all. It was a tuxedo, and this is what I made yesterday. And today we're doing a shirt and tie. I will tell you, if you want a men's sweater, hop on over to my Facebook page. Find me at Stamp with Anna on Facebook. And every second Sunday of the month, which was just 2 days ago, I do a Facebook subscribers only exclusive video. And I did last Sunday do one for, it was a men's sweater. I'm not going to show it here because that is something that I only put on my Facebook page for my subscribers, for thanking them for subscribing to my Facebook page. So if you hop on over to my Facebook page and subscribe to it, you can see that sweater as well. But anyway, so for today we're going to make this shirt and tie, and it really is pretty simple. Our card base this time is going to open up this way, and it's a piece of very vanilla thick 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. Then we need a piece of designer series paper. This piece of paper is cut the same size as the card front, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is from a retired stack. Like I said, I'm trying to really make a dent into all this paper that I have accumulated. And this paper DSP set was called Schoolhouse, I think. And that's what I used for that. So this is that size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then when I made this one here, to make this collar, I cut a piece of the cardstock at 3 1/2, excuse me, I think 2 1/2. 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, and then I cut it diagonally to get the stripes going the other way. So I was able to make 2. Oh, here it is right here. See, so this piece was that, and then I cut it in half, and I made one for this card and one for the card we're going to use. The tie is made from some designer series paper that was from a very old pack, and I think it was called Welcome Neighbor or something like that. This is 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And this is 1 1/2 by 4 1/8. And I'll show you how we shaped that into the tie. Then for the pocket, again, it's the same striped paper, and it is, I believe, a 2 by 2 square. And then a little piece of, I think I used wild wasabi here. Jeez, I cut it out. It's on my desk here somewhere. But anyway, what I found, I want to make sure you have enough paper with the right kind of pattern on it, because you'll notice here these stripes are going this way. This stripe I cut the square this way so that when I angled it, it would be contrasting, and then I was able to make the pocket also going another way. So play with your papers before you jump into this project, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, let's get started on the other card. So here's our card front. So the first thing we're going to do is make our tie. And the tie here like I said, this is it 1.5? Yes, it's 1.5 by 1.5. Now I have, this was all one piece of paper, and I cut it so that the tie itself can have the pattern going this way, and then the knot can go that way, because realistically when you're making a tie, that's what's going to happen. So what I did was I positioned my tie, the knot, and then I made a mark. Like I said, this was 1.5. So I came in at about 1.25, and I made a little tick mark. So I needed to do the same with my my bottom part of the tie. So I made a 1.25 tick mark. And I needed to angle my pieces. So what I did was I lined that tick mark up with the corner of my paper, and you can see it's very, very narrow, because you don't want a huge unless you're going for that 70s tie, you don't want a huge angle on your tie. And then I'm going to do the same with the top. Now you can certainly cut this freehand, or you can bring in your paper trimmer and then just line the tick marks up, the line in the groove, and slice it off. You do get it nice crisp cut that way, a nice straight line that way. So you can see it's already taking shape. This is how the tie is going to fit. And this side is straight, obviously, because it's going to be up against the card. So what I did next was I brought in a coordinating color, and I think this one is Wild Wasabi, and I wanted to accentuate and define my tie. So I ran a little bit of ink along the edges, and on this long piece you just need it for the bottom part. Now if you remember, I said this bottom piece was 4 1/8, and this was 1.5, so that's longer than 5.5, which is the length. So the reason I did that is so that I have some overlap here. So what I'm going to do first is position my tie like that. Okay, see how it works? And that's going to look perfect. So I'm going to attach some glue, adhesive, and put together the bottom half of my tie. I do have a little. Okay. Straight as possible. And then the same with the top. Now because that bottom piece was cut just a tiny bit longer, I'm able to have this overhang. See that? So they don't look like they're just joined like this, because that's not how a tie works. You do want that little overhang. So there's the tie. Then I'm going to take my angle from this square, 2.5 by 2.5, slice that way, and I'm going to position it right there. And again, before I do that, I want to just bring out the edges. So I'm going to use that same Wild Wasabi, just so that it stands out a little bit. See, if I didn't have that, it kind of just blends in. This way it has kind of like an outline. It's kind of like when you're outlining, when you're coloring in the coloring books, you outline the image before you color it in, so you'll stay in the lines, right? So we're going to attach that right there. See, it's already taken shape. Looks great already. Now we have our 2x2 square, and again I'm going to hold this in opposite direction. This is going vertically. I'm going to hold this one horizontally. With the pair of snips, I just want to angle, freehand angle my pockets, and I'm going to attach that to my card. You could leave the top of the pocket. Oh, I'm sorry, first I want to sponge the edges. You can leave the top of the pocket without adhesive so that you can slip something in there, but I'm not going to. I think if I make a sentiment for this, I think I'm going to make it as a tie clip. Here's the pocket. Then I have a tiny strip. Oh, where did I put it? A tiny strip of, I think this one is Pure Pizzazz or Wild Wasabi. I'm not quite sure. It's a 1/2 inch by 2 inches, and it's going to fit just to accentuate the top of the pocket. It might be just a tad bit too short. I'm going to come back in and make that just a sliver bigger. Much better. And again, I'm going to accentuate the ends of it. And bring that down as far as you want, depending on how you how tall you want your pocket to be. Now, with a white gel pen, I'm going to add the stitching along my collar. Now, because I have this white stripe right here, you're not going to see my stitching if I do it on the white, so I'm going to just do it on the red. And then again up this side. Because most men's shirt, you can see the stitching on the collar. I'm going to do the same on the pocket, the different parts of the pocket. And then all along the sides of the pocket as well. And I do like this ruler, although it does glare in the camera, and I apologize for that. It has this nice rubber cork backing, so it doesn't slip. And believe it or not, there's our card. How simple was that? All we have to do is attach it to our base, and we have a card complete. There we go. Simple, simple. My bone fold, I'm going to reinforce that. And there we go. How simple is that? That'd be really cute for a birthday, for Father's Day, for a boss's day. And you can certainly, the Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set is a great stamp set. They have small little sayings that would fit right in there. Happy birthday, happy Father's Day, thinking of you, whatever the occasion is. So there is day 2 of our men's clothing. I'm hoping to get to a sweater because I actually wanted to do sweater cards, but hopefully something will come up before the end of the week that is the sweater. If you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products that I've used, certainly contact me through my blog at www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And while you're there, there is a button on the top corner that you can hit to subscribe to my newsletter. There's also a button to contact me as well as a button to shop. So I hope you'll come back tomorrow for day 3 of our men's clothing line. Thanks so much and have a great day.